Hey everybody, this is Joe. We're doing a rules deep dive into Marvel Multiverse, and we're talking about reactions. Here we go. Every time I do a character build on this channel, I take additional reactions. I don't remember the last time that I didn't, and it's because reactions are one of the most unique and one of the most powerful things you can do in Marvel Multiverse. A lot of games have reactions, but they are typically a very limited set of things that you can do. And I talk about reaction powers because I use them as a damage dealing trick. But today we're going to take a look at all of the reactions you have available to you as a player. We're not taking a look at additional reaction powers, simply the basic reactions that every character has, because you can do a lot with your reaction as a character in this game, and it gives you versatility in gameplay. We're taking these in alphabetical order, and so the first one is escape. If you are grabbed, pinned, or paralyzed by something that is physical, you can use your reaction to attempt to escape. So, grabbing an enemy does not mean that that enemy is going to be grabbed for the enemy's turn. The enemy could use a reaction if they have it available to them to attempt to escape. Now, all other rules apply. So for instance, if you are paralyzed and you have trouble on the escape, that still applies, but you can use your reaction to immediately try to escape the grab. Next is Fastball Special. This is so cinematic and fun, and I have not yet had a character do this in gameplay, but it's awesome. Your ally picks you up and uses an agility check to fling you at an enemy. It doesn't specifically say, but it indicates that the agility check's target number is the agility defense of the enemy. Then you, the character being flung, uses your reaction to make a close attack against the enemy when you get there. Now there's two checks involved, the agility and then your close attack, and so there's more probability of this not succeeding. However, you do get a benefit from it. Upon a regular success, the enemy takes double damage, and upon a fantastic success, the enemy takes triple damage. I would most definitely combine this with combat trickery in order to guarantee a triple damage attack. I think it'd be awesome. One thing that's important to point out, since Fastball Special is the reaction, you don't get to use a power with this particular close attack. It is just a simple and straightforward close attack, but you cannot combine it with things like Smash. Next is Help Teammate. Now here's what's cool about Help Teammate. The trigger is that your teammate, somebody on your team, and this has to be somebody specifically listed as a member of your team, fails an action check. Now think about that wording, fails an action check. Action checks can be attacks, but they can also be anything else, right? Like trying to jump over a trap of some form. But more importantly, we know that the character failed. So in other words, you as the player can wait to hear that your ally has failed a check. At that point, you can use your reaction to help them and give them an edge on the check, allowing them to re-roll one die and thereby turn a failure into a success. The next reaction is Interpose. Interpose is where you have an ally within your reach in distances away, so that's usually just right next to you, and an enemy targets your ally with an attack. The attack must target the ally, but not also target you. You can use your reaction to move that 5 feet and interpose yourself in between your ally and the attack. At this point, the attack roll is going to target whichever is lower of the defense scores between you or your ally. So if they are doing an agility-based attack with a ranged weapon, whichever one of you has the lower agility defense, that's the defense score that's used. But upon a success, it hits you and not your ally. This is a great reaction for tank characters to protect the glass cannons of your party. Next is Ram, and I'm a little disappointed in Ram. Let us say that you have an enemy that's just too far away and you are a melee combatant. You can use your movement and then your action to move in order to get up to that enemy and announce you're doing a ram attack. This allows you to then use your reaction to make a close attack against the enemy. Upon a success, the enemy takes double damage, but you take regular damage. So you are injuring yourself by ramming them. Upon a fantastic success, you still take damage, but the enemy takes triple damage and is knocked prone. Just like with Fastball Special, you cannot combine this with other powers for additional effects. The effects are built into this specific ability, but it is an ability that everybody has. Now, the disappointing part of Ram is that it does not move the enemy naturally. So we don't necessarily have the ability to ram someone and hit them a certain distance. I would love it if Ram also had a rider where we had the ability to do some kind of forced movement. As it is, doing extra damage is great. Doing damage to yourself as a melee combatant is probably not too big of a deal because you're probably more of the tanky character, but there's not the type of battlefield control inside of this that I would ideally like to see. Next is release. Now, release is actually quite interesting in its rules implication, but this is where you release an enemy that you are grabbing. You have somebody grabbed, and then they either try to move or they try to attack. You can use your reaction to release what you are grabbing. Now, there's some interesting rules implications here. One of which I've explored before, which is if you have an enemy grabbed and then you use a reaction to attack that grabbed character, the grabbed condition persists. So if you used something like a grappling technique to grab somebody and then crushing grip to attack them with your reaction, they are still grabbed at the end because it is actually part of action economy to release a grabbed enemy. On the other hand, if you want to release an enemy that you have grabbed, it's actually part of your action economy. It is not a free action to drop somebody or release somebody that is grabbed, and that does eat into your action economy when you want to move and attack somebody else. So think about this when you are playing a grappling style character. Next we come to Skulk, which is just so much fun and flavorful. If you are targeted with a ranged attack and you have an enemy, or really any character that is within your reach, you can use your reaction to move behind them. And now that person is the new target for the ranged attack, which is amazing. The target number for the attack is whichever defense score is lower for the agility-based attack, which is you or the person you are hiding behind. So the attack is more likely to hit and is going to hit somebody else. And all it takes is your reaction to do this. This is really, really fun, and I wish more people would use it. So this big variety of reactions serves a really important purpose in Marvel Multiverse. Specifically, it makes up for the lack of extra attack. In a lot of other TTRPGs, your combatant-focused characters get an extra attack later on in the character's career, but that does not exist in Marvel Multiverse. Every single attack is going to have one role that is associated, even the ones that attack multiple enemies. The way that you can create a character that does a little bit more than one thing in a round of combat is by utilizing reactions. So no, you don't get an official extra attack in your character, but you have more things you can do with your reaction just built in than in any other game system I have played. And that is before we get into the ability to add reaction powers, which we did not cover in this video. That's something I cover in my character build guides. So utilizing your reactions and utilizing the big variety of reactions that you can do is really one of the most powerful ways to fully realize your character. And it's a full third of your action economy. So use your reactions. They are there for you to have fun with. All right, that is what I've got for you today. YouTube's made out of buttons. I hope you press some of them, and I'll see you next time. All right, peace.